Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. No hype. I'm, of course, talking about the Saturday night game in Columbus, Tennessee at Ohio State. So we previewed this game earlier in the show, but I want to take a moment to talk about something that popped on my radar Thursday afternoon as I was preparing for this show. Did you see that Ohio State basically put out a PSA begging fans to be nice at the shoe on Saturday? So let me, even before we put up the tweets, producer Matt, obviously, look, we kind of know it. I just think it's kind of a weird vibe. We had Zach Smith on the show earlier in the week talk about what is the vibe around Columbus. I don't get the sense that, I don't want to speak for Ohio State fans, I don't get the sense that everybody has completely put Michigan behind them. I don't get the sense that Ryan Day has completely regained the trust of the fan base. If anything, it's the opposite. I said it after the Michigan game, talked to some people around that athletic department shortly following that game, and I think everybody's kind of sentiment was, we just hope we can go on a run once we get to the playoff. Don't think it helped, by the way, that Ryan Day earlier this week said, hey, listen, that Michigan game didn't really matter. He didn't say that, but he basically said, listen, the goal was always the playoff. We're here. That's all that matters, which basically was like a weird way of saying, yeah, we lost as a 3-touchdown favorite to our rival at home, but you guys got to just ignore that. And so you have that going on. You have this story about Tennessee fans potentially invading the horseshoe for this game. It's a crazy time at Ohio State. But I saw this on Thursday afternoon, and I think it kind of speaks to Ohio State might be getting a little bit soft under Ryan Day, not just the team, but the entire athletic department. Producer Matt, pop up the tweet that Ohio State put out on Thursday afternoon. So this is from the official Ohio State Twitter account. First of all, there's a grammar error, which isn't a good look. But basically, going into this game, and again, knowing that probably there's going to be a lot of Tennessee fans, whatever, Ohio State's official athletics Twitter account put out this tweet. Don't forget to be the best fans on Saturday. First of all, this is the typo. The acronym is Go Bucks, but the G stands for gracious and victory and defeat. So there's a little typo there. It should be gracious in victory and defeat. O is one community. So again, this is a message that the official athletic account put out. Don't forget to be the best fans in America on Saturday. Gracious in victory and defeat, one community, behave like champions, uphold traditions, create memorable moments, keep the standard of excellence, show respect to all. Now, on one hand, doesn't really mean much of anything, whatever, this and that. But let me ask you a question. Does this not feel like a direct message from Ohio State's athletic department that they are nervous about one of two things happening in Columbus on Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening? One, this is either Ohio State's official athletic department saying, hey, we're about to get invaded by Tennessee fans. Don't pick any fights in the stands with everybody coming from Rocky Top. Or two, what I actually think it probably means is, hey, if things go sideways, Ohio State fans, do us a favor. Don't boo our head coach, Ryan Day. But this, to me, speaks to where we are at Ohio State right now. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this, but I do think when the official athletic department is basically putting out a PSA, begging fans to be nice, to me, that doesn't speak very well to where the tone and energy of the fan base is going into this game, right? Because think about the other 3-4, sites that are going to be hosting college football playoff games. Listen, there's great vibes at Penn State. Penn State has kind of always seen itself as a program that would benefit from the 12-team college football playoff. They'd maybe get a home game. They are. Notre Dame, I understand that there's going to be a lot of Indiana fans in that stadium, but Notre Dame, it's been a great year. Yes, you lose to Northern Illinois. To Marcus Freeman's credit, they bounce back. They get the victory, or they get a bunch of straight victories. They're 11-1. They're hosting a playoff game. Texas, it's the same vibe, right? You didn't win the SEC championship game, but you showed out well in year one in the conference. That is not the vibe I'm feeling from Ohio State. And to go back to what I said, the vibe that I really get out of that athletic department is I think that right now everybody is just sort of on pins and needles. Everybody is sitting there saying, like, we need to win on Saturday and we need to look good on Saturday, because if not, this fan base will revolt. And by the way, Ohio State fans, that's not a criticism of you. I'm actually in agreement with you. I've said for years, Ryan Day has one of the cushiest jobs in college football. Don't give me his overall win-loss record. The three goals that he should have every single year: one, beat Michigan; two, compete for and most of the time win the Big Ten championship; and three, compete for national championships. And I've said that consistently. I have been off the Ryan Day bandwagon. And I do think, by the way, it was a bad look earlier this week when Ryan Day came out and said, yeah, that Michigan game basically means nothing because the whole goal was the 12-team college football playoff. I don't want to hear it. For 4 straight years, you've lost to your biggest rival. Oh, by the way, for 4 straight years, you have not even made it to Indianapolis for the conference championship game. And so I think this sets up a very interesting scenario in Columbus. And I think this statement from the athletic department is basically their way of acknowledging, like, we think it could get pretty toxic if our team does not play well on Saturday. Beyond that, let me say this. I think it speaks to a little bit of an aura of softness around the entire program and the entire athletic department. Listen, you go back to the Urban Meyer era. Think Urban Meyer gave a crap if somebody booed him? No, Urban Meyer was like, screw you. I'll get in your face and boo you right back. Oh, by the way, we're going to beat everybody by 30, or we're going to beat the teams that matter by 30, so it doesn't matter. Listen, you can criticize Urban Meyer for whatever. Urban Meyer was kind of the anti-Ryan Day. He might take a loss to Purdue here and there. He might take a loss at Iowa. He ain't never losing to Michigan. He's winning his big games. And when he loses, there's going to be hell to pay. It's going to be, everybody's going to be locked in, and you are going to get the best, toughest version. And by the way, sometimes you're going to lose because the other team has more talent, but you're never going to lose because you got out toughed, because you got out physical, because you're trying to prove to your fan base, like Ohio State did 3 weeks ago against Michigan, that you can match their physicality when you can't. And so to me, this is a metaphor of like that toughness, both the literal physical toughness that Ohio State once had, feels like it's kind of gone at Ohio State. But beyond that, it's the mental toughness. It's the fact that the athletic department has to come out with a PSA and basically beg fans, hey, be nice to our head coach. Don't say anything mean. Oh, by the way, if you see some Tennessee fans, be nice to them too, because it's one big happy family. You think Urban Meyer, if he thought his stadium was getting invaded by another team's fan base, would say, oh, be nice? Be like, no, don't sell your tickets, yell in their face, make it uncomfortable, and let's make sure that they have the worst experience here possible. And so I'm not, to be clear, I'm not encouraging any sort of violence. I don't want to see fights in the stands, and I don't think Urban Meyer would either. But I think what Urban Meyer would say is, first of all, if their fans are even thinking about coming, that's embarrassing. We got to change that. But two, let's pummel them and put them out of their misery so that those fans can leave miserable, and they can leave at halftime, and they can get in the cars and go back to Tennessee. And so I bring it up because producer Matt, pop up the tweet one more time. Gracious in victory and defeat. Gracious in victory and defeat does that sound like Urban Meyer? Does that sound like Woody Hayes? Does that sound like what Ohio State football is? Gracious in victory and defeat. One community, okay. Behave like champions. What have you been champions of? You haven't won anything in 4 years. Haven't won the Big Ten since 2020. And you needed the league to pull strings to get you into the conference championship game. Behave like champions. Okay. Uphold traditions. That's cool. Create memorable moments. Yeah, you know what would create memorable moments? Beating Michigan. Beating the teams that matter. Winning Big Ten championships. Keep the standard of excellence. Yeah, that's been gone. Show respect to all. Listen, I'm not trying to criticize Ryan Day here. I'm just stating this kind of makes Ohio State look soft. I cannot believe they actually put that out there.